Amen.
Amen.
We're excited about what God is doing in the life of Arms. My job is to tell the story of Arms. 25 years in 5 minutes. 25 years, 5 minutes. And if I can do that, I've been saying that I was going to sing, and today will be my audition. So we'll see how it goes. 25 years ago, C.B.T. Smith had a vision to have a place where men could come and receive help. And he said that he had started praying about 10 or 15 years before the program started. And it's amazing that about that time, it had to be in the late 70s. And if you can remember, about that time, crack cocaine started to hit. Around 1985, Pastor Smith said that he started to talk about this vision openly in front of the church. Around that time, most of the men that are around my age that came through the program was in the chronic stage of their addiction. I'm going to tell my story along with the story of Arms. And then in 1989, he started the program. We had a mission group, or the church did at the time, that would go out and feed the homeless. They would go down to places like the Dallas Life Foundation and places like that. And where me and a couple of guys, one of which is in the room here today, we were residents at the Dallas Life Foundation. And so at that time, they would come and they would feed us, and then they started to ask us to come back to the church. And so we would come back. They had no houses or nothing like that at that time. And so we would come back, and then we would fall off. Me and the other guy that's in the room, I won't call him. And then they said that, you know what, maybe if we get some houses. And then they said that they would get the houses, and they got houses in April of 1990, and that's when we came in. But the vision that Pastor Smith had, that this would be a safe place, a place where men would serve in the church, where they would go on and lead. And today in our church, we have men at our church that are preachers, that are deacons, that are singing in the choir. And it's not only at our church, but that is all throughout the country. We have men that are serving. I had a brother that come down today, hadn't seen him in years. And he just showed up and said, man, I've been clean, I'm married, have children, and I'm serving in my church. It's like, wow, man, we're getting ready to have a luncheon. So I invited him to church with us on November the 9th when we have our actual celebration. But it's just amazing. You cannot find or keep up with how many people that have been cleaned by this ministry. We run into them all over, all the time. But 5 minutes, 25 years. And I talked about this, and so in 1990, I said we started coming back, and believe it or not, in this little house right here was where it all began. This is about 600 or 700 square feet, believe it or not, and we had 4 staff members, and we would have class with about 35 men, which is about all this section right here in this little bitty house right here. And when they tore it down, men came from everywhere, and we stood out there in the parking lot and cried. Because in this house, I got saved. In this house, I got delivered. In this house, I got so we were excited about this house being torn down. And then in 1997, we had aftercare intervention. In the beginning, the program had one phase, 6 months. And then if you had relapse, people like me, 5 times. I came through the program so many times, they said, look, man, you just going to stop coming. And then we got aftercare and intervention. But in 1992, my life changed. August the 5th, matter of fact, of 1992. But now we have 3 phases. We have primary care, which is 6 months. You can stay an additional 6 months in aftercare. And when the guys leave, they leave the program with several $1,000s saved. They leave the program with an apartment. They have all the furniture for their apartment. They come in one way and they leave completely another way. We say that by the time they leave, if you have any evidence that addiction was a part of their life, then we've done something wrong. We have many ministry partners. That's how we're able to do what we do. The average cost for treatment in America is $1,000 a day. Somebody say 1,000. 1,000. We do it for $10 a day. $10 a day. And it is because of people like you. And we just started doing that. A part of the vision that our pastor had, that we would do it for free. And for years, we done it for free. If they was even charging $10, I would not have been able to get clean, because I had no one who would even give me $10 for me to come through the program. But thank God I came through at the time where it was free. Wasn't necessarily free. A lot of these people you see in the room, our program was sponsored by the tithes and offerings of Golden Gate Missionary Baptist Church, but it was free for me. Amen. And so now we partner with a lot of different agencies to bring that cost down. We partner with Rod Ministries, which is a prison ministry that goes into the prison and send people here. We partner with the Portland Healthcare Van. Our men and women get health care 100% free. The Portland Healthcare Van comes out in front of the gay house every Tuesday, and the men get complete physicals. They get all of their health care taken care of. We partner with MHMR, Metro Care. They get a complete psychological evaluation. If they do a diagnosis or need any meds, all of that is taken care of 100% free. We partner with this agency called the Dallas Furniture Bank. And men can get 9 pieces, which is enough to fill up a 1-bedroom apartment for $150. And so as a part of that, they go out and shop. And so when they get their apartment, they have all the furniture for their apartment. And we also partner with the North Texas Food Bank. And we go every week and get food. And we also have a food drive. But that's how we're able to keep our costs down. It's through partnerships, through people like you. Amen? Amen. Oh, Latricia, I got about 2 more minutes and I'm going to sing. The next 10 years, the program grew, and it went from not having any houses at all, and then we grew to where we had 5 houses, where we had 35 men, and we had outpatient for women at this time. Amen. And then we built the gate house, this big, nice building that we enjoy. Now I have a big old office, and when Pastor Parker was the director, him and Minister Green, you would sit in your office and you had to kind of tie yourself to the chair, because if you didn't, you slide back down the thing, because the building was all tore up. But lives were changed. It's amazing that we love that building, but now we got this nice building. Come see us sometime. For the first 20 years of this program, our church sponsored this program 98% through tithes and offerings of our church. People would always ask us, and I always tease Elder Bowie and Elder Robinson. I say, if they knew that the program was going to cost as much as it did in 1989, they never would have started. Sometimes God can't tell us everything, because they're scared to death. So he had to sneak it in on them. Now we know he knew, but they didn't know. And so it continued to grow, and then we built this building, and then the church could no longer be able to afford to keep this program. So we had to redo our board and go out and start seeking funds on the outside. And that's why we're here. We kind of snuck y'all here too. You thought you just came here to eat, but anyway, y'all know. So 5 years ago, we kind of changed how we done things. We reorganized. We reorganized the armed staff. We got new board members. We restructured our policies and procedures. We got a new marketing plan, new ARM website. It is armdallas.org. Go check us out. We have a Facebook page. We have nice brochures. All of those things to go out and market and create partnerships and let people know that what we're doing. Amen. We're partnering with several churches. We have relationships with Cornerstone. They have a table right there. They came and they completely rehabbed one of our houses, and they are one of our monthly partnership partners, and one of their members is also on our board. We have relationships with Park Cities. The urban ministry person, Julian Russell, is in the audience over there. I've seen him. We have a relationship with Antioch Fellowship Church and Christ Community and Way of the Cross. And that's how we're able to do. This thing is about the body of Christ and individuals coming in to serve this one purpose. Joe, you know that guy with the blue shirt on there? Yeah, that's Michael Branch. That's how Joe got connected with us. That's a friend of his. But over 3,000 men and 600 women have come through the program in our 25 years. And I said all that to say this. We have a new vision now. About 5 years ago, we stopped doing our warm program. We could no longer afford it. But our goal in 2015 is to start that program back. Yeah. And we are so glad. That is what the whole thing is about us being able to serve women. It's amazing. When I was doing prison ministry, women will come and see men in prison. But when women go to prison or they get caught up on drugs, nobody helps them. Women are loyal, men are not that loyal in chronic situations, y'all know. And so women, they don't have any help. And sometimes people don't do it. It's treatment centers and places for men to go everywhere. There are very few places for women to go and find help. And we believe that God has laid on our heart to do something about that and to do it in a residential way this time. Amen? So we're going to hire a full-time warm director. We're going to start accepting inpatient clients. Our goal is to renovate some houses. If you have been down in the bottom and see all of the construction, they're completely redoing the bottom, and we want to build some houses that would look like that. They tell me, they let us stay in houses where you can see the floor, see the ground, windows broke out. But we may have to do a little bit better for the women folks, so we'll be able to come out. Amen. They didn't do that for me. They do that for you, Thomas? No. So we're going to solicit some new board members and have an advisory board as well. Find new funding streams and hire additional staff. How did I do? Did I